Facebook, healthcare digital marketing. Guys, if you can hear me, I'm so sorry that I'm late by a lot. I am like 40 minutes late. I was having a call with a good friend who has been a client of ours and just kind of stuck. And sometimes you got to help somebody who's stuck. And we had a really great talk, but I am 40 minutes late because of it. And I apologize for being late. Hope you guys are doing awesome this evening. If you can hear me, if you're watching this live, please let me know. Just comment Team Live. If you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and comment Team Replay. And the reason that we ask for you to comment, if you've been following us for a while, you'll know the reason we ask for a comment is that way when you comment, more people can actually see the post. It will get pushed into their news feeds. And there were a lot of people who were interested in seeing this. And the more that we can have people comment, hey, Jocelyn, the more people we can have comment that say they're Team Live, Team Replay, it actually shows up into more people's feeds. We're not just desperate for comments. I promise there is a strategy. If you guys follow us, you know that we're all about tactics and how to help people get the word out. This is one way to get the word out. If you're ever doing a live stream, ask people to comment on your live stream if they're there. Or even if no one's on live, which can happen, right? We do plenty of lives and no one's there. I say if you're on the replay, comment me or comment this, and it just pushes it into more people's news feeds. This is one little tactic. We're gonna dive into some of that stuff on Thursday in our live training, but this is a live Q&A. D, what's going on? Jocelyn, what's going on? Looks like we got some people on here live. If you're on here, just say hi. Love to hear from you. Love to know what's going on. This is a Q&A session. So if you have any questions that you've been dying to have answered, that you're just like, I need help with business, whether it's online, if it's about, organizing your business, doing some of the stuff, I promise I will try to help in any way I can. I'll also be really honest and let you know if like, hey, I just can't even answer that question, but I'll try to point you in the right direction. Dana, thanks for hopping on. And David Bailiff, the captain, is on here. But if you have any questions, just feel free to drop them. We got some from before, so I'm going to pull those up on my end. I want to dive through some of these because I think they're really poignant for a lot of people that are out there. I just want to give you a reminder too, if you end up watching this, if you're watching it live, you're watching on the replay, this Thursday, we're having a deep dive training on how to actually create your very first online coaching program or online course to either help you create side income from your existing business, to actually launch a full business from it, or if you have a brick and mortar practice, how you can actually leverage an online course or an online program to supplement your income to people who maybe are being discharged from your course, right? Or from therapy, or whatever kind of healthcare service, and you want them to get continued education, that they can do that through an online course or an online program. It's another way to just offer your services to people. So I'm going to go back through here. And we got some really good questions. So the very first question is from Reina Oliveira. Reina says, how do you go from a successful Facebook group to making an offer to potential clients? So I followed up with Reina and I said, Reina, it's a great question. What is the offer and what's your Facebook group about? So Reina says she has a Facebook group where she gives free OT tips to parents of children who I guess are in need of OT services. And her offer is telehealth OT services for an 8-week package. Cool. So Reina has a Facebook group where she's been giving OT tips. Yo, Will, how do you stay? Todd, I wish I was as awesome as you, man. I am, man, successful is such a relative term. I do not resonate with the word successful very much, but I appreciate the kind words, trying to get better at accepting compliments. And man, I think just seeing guys like you, Todd, who built incredibly successful businesses just make me realize like there's so much more to learn. There's always more to learn. And I hope I never feel like I've reached some place that I want to be. I just want to keep learning. So Reina has a Facebook group. Thank you, Todd, by the way. Thank you for the kind words. Reina says that she has a Facebook group where she has apparently parents of, I believe, kids. I think she's doing pediatrics from what I remember Reina and I talking together. And she wants to know, how do I make an offer, right? So the very first thing about letting people know is if you run the group, which I'm pretty sure Reina runs the group, you are in control of the group. So we want to make sure, are you taking control of the group? Are you showing up as the expert? My guess, Reina, based on what you've told me in your tips, or that you're providing tips, is that you are positioning yourself as the expert, resonating with people. The other thing is what I recommend and what we're going to teach on Thursday is the very first thing to do is to get on free 15-minute phone calls with people if possible. Now, here's why you want to offer free 15-minute phone calls is you want to learn who is a good fit for what you have to offer and who is not. And ultimately, the best thing that we can do is so actually, here's what I would do. So I'm going to break it down now that I think about it. The very first thing is what I would do. See if I can, I won't even share my screen. The very first thing I would do is I'd make a poll. I would make a poll in my group and I would ask who feels like if they could have a 25-minute session with a qualified healthcare provider or with me, if you could have a 25-minute call with me to go over your child's problems and come up with a game plan, would you be interested, yes or no? Now, why I would make it a poll is that it's easier for people to answer. People can't feel stupid answering the question. If we make it long form or open-ended of, hey, please write in what your child's problem is, and then I'll reach out to you, right? So number one, if we make it open-ended, people feel that they are in a position where they can be judged and can feel stupid or feel like someone might disagree with them or they might be exposed in some way. So creating a poll is one of the best ways to start out. Do you feel like you would benefit from a 25-minute phone call where we dive into your child's issues and come up with a game plan to help them move forward? Now, why this is important is one, it's a low barrier offer. It's free. No one has to commit to anything to begin with. Two, you get to learn about these people and learn what's really bothering them. Three, they get to see what it's like to talk to you live in person, which for Raina, who does telehealth, people want to see that this can actually work in person. Like they want to see that this can actually work. Number four is you get a chance to figure out if they even qualify or would be a good fit for you to provide your services to. Now, if you're so busy that you don't have time for this, this might not be applicable. But if you're starting your business and you have time to do this, which I would say that most of us should be getting on calls with our ideal people, our ideal prospects, to one, learn about what their problems are. Two, we need tons of reps. Most of us aren't very good at sales. It's taken me like a year and a half to really feel comfortable with the sales process of how do I carry a conversation to help someone through sales, right? And this is part of our upcoming program. Like we take you through the process of how do you actually take someone from Messenger, like a Messenger conversation or a comment on a Facebook group, then take it to Facebook Message and then schedule a phone call with them. And then what is your actual sales process, your sales strategy when you're getting someone on a phone call? And this is a really important thing. I think we think a lot of times if I just drop a link to my schedule, people will schedule. And the internet world's no different than in person. You have to be the aggressor. You have to be the one to seek out and be more interested. I think a lot of times we say, if someone makes a comment back on a post and says, hey, I'd love to talk to you. And we say, great, feel free to reach out to me anytime. When we say something like, feel free to reach out to me at any time, what we're saying is, hey, please be more interested in me than me being interested in you. Without saying it, that is the connotation that we're providing, which is feel free to reach out to me. Well, that's saying like, hey, come seek me out. I'm the expert. Be more interested in me and how I can help you versus, hey, let me see if I can be more interested in you and how I can help you. And Tony says, where's the costume? Raggedy Andy. I need to get one. Alex stepped up his game today. He lost a bet to Jordan Mather and brought his costume game out. It was crazy. I didn't even know Raggedy Andy was a thing. I've heard of Raggedy Ann. I did not know Raggedy Andy was a thing. Jeremy, thanks for having on. Max, thanks for having on. James Hop, thanks for having on. So here's the process. One, poll. If you had the chance to speak with me for 25 minutes and we could talk about your child's problems and come up with a game plan for you, would you be interested, yes or no? Now, here's the secret sauce, though. We can't just stop at yes and assume people are going to reach out to us and schedule a call with us. That's just not how this works. So what you have to do is you need to, in your poll, find everyone that says yes, and you need to send them a private message. And here's what you don't do. What you don't do is go, hey, great, thanks for answering yes to my poll. Here's a link to schedule a time to talk. Why that doesn't work is we haven't hit another level of trust. So what I recommend in Messenger, when you go and you see someone make a poll like that, is you go, hey, I just wanted to reach out and say thank you so much for answering my poll. I really look forward to chatting with you in 25 minutes. I'd just love to know, like, what's your schedule like during the week? Is there a good day or time for you? Question, continue the conversation. Continue like you would on a date. You don't just go, hey, thanks for asking my question about where you're from. Do you want to go home together? That's not a natural progression of things. Like, you want to continue the conversation. If there's anything that I hope you take from Thursday when we go into this deep, is that every single sale starts with a conversation, and a conversation with genuinely interested questions without the intention of collecting money. Like, that is how every sale should begin, is a series of questions, genuinely interested questions, without the intention of collecting money immediately. Because we need to qualify people to see if they're actually a fit for what you offer. So from the poll, you're going to message everyone. You're going to ask them, hey, what's your schedule like? When's a good time to talk with you? Or what's a good day or time that'd be great for you? Like, tell me a little bit about your child. Get some information first. Maybe they're not even a great person to get on the phone with. Maybe there's someone who would actually waste your time. Use Messenger to filter that out a little bit with some questions. Now, in our program that we're releasing on Thursday, which I can't even tell you about, we've got scripts for all this. We've got all written out scripts of how we actually do this, how we take people from Facebook group comments, from a poll to comment, to Messenger, to a phone call, to how we actually have our sales script for closing someone on a phone call for whatever it is we're doing, if it's a coaching program or a course. So I would do that, and then I would get them on a call. Now, the big thing is, once you get them on a call, Raina, you want to know, you want to listen, provide them a ton of value, and you want to know if there's someone who would benefit from your services, right? And so you want to gear your questions very poignantly, right? And this is something that we don't get taught in school. It's really unfortunate that we don't get taught about how to do like leading questions to help people come to a decision, which is, great, has this been beneficial so far? On a scale of 0 to 10, how beneficial was this call for you over the internet? Like, that we did this online. If the answer is 9 or 10 for all my NPS people, right, our net promoter score, if the answer is 9 or 10, great. They are someone who is likely to buy from you either now or in the future. If it's less than 9, you want to follow up with, great, what could have been better about this experience for you? Well, I just feel like online's not the place for me. Okay, well, what is it that you really feel like you need then? Well, I feel like I just need to be in person. Great. And you just start talking, you start learning what are their objections, right? And you don't need to try to close them immediately. You just want to listen. What are your objections? And I write these down, literally get a pen out, write down. They said they were worried about in person or online not being effective, right? Because these are going to come up in the future, and we're going to have to overcome these objections over and over and over again, right? Does this make sense? If you're listening to this live or on the replay, does this make sense? I'm giving you a little bit of secrets into what we do. It's nothing like crazy. But I think that hopefully that's helpful. So Raina, to take your offer, here's the biggest thing I think for so many of us is we're afraid to put our offer out there and be the aggressor. Is there a risk with this? Absolutely. But is there an even bigger risk of not impacting people's lives because we're nervous to ask them if we can help them? And the biggest thing I'd say is you just want to have conversations that lead into the opportunity to get on a phone call with people. My biggest thing right now for PTs, OTs, speech therapists, anyone else who's in here is that we're really good connecting with people. We're really bad at sales for the most part, if I can be honest. We're just not very good at selling in general. So what we need to do is we need to get as many people on phone calls as possible. People are not going to buy online directly. Like, it's just very hard still to get someone who doesn't know you very well to go to a landing page or on your website and just click buy, especially if we're selling something, which I would imagine, Raina, for your 8 OT package, right? 8 OT sessions, I would really hope that it's no less than like $800. I would really hope it's no less than $800. And to sell $800 online is really, really tough without a lot of trust and having had a personal connection with someone. So your entire goal right now is, how do I get people on phone calls that it's like a virtual discovery visit? That's what we should be having, is virtual discovery visits. So it starts with Messenger, letting people know. One, it starts from creating content in your Facebook group over and over so people see you over and over again. They get to know you, telling your story of why you do what you do, creating an emotional bond with your client, right? If you know me, if you've been following us for a while, I am pretty open about the fact that I've dealt with anxiety and depression for the last decade or more. I mean, if you really want to, you can go listen to a podcast episode called I Checked Myself into a Psych Unit in the Two Nobodies podcast, where pretty much let you in on what was going on in my life at one point and just kind of the roller coaster and how deeply low of a place I was in that I actually tried to check myself into a psych unit. And they didn't even take me. Like, they didn't even take me. And I say that like, you're like, well, what does this have to do with online marketing or getting people onto discovery visits? When you tell people about your reasons for why you do things and why I'm passionate about this, and I saw myself, my life going into working in a clinic 9 to 7 every day without the potential financial gain, because I quickly realized the better the PT I was, I didn't get paid any better for how much better I got as a PT. If I could get my patients better quicker, that actually became a problem. I would get taken into the office and say, Will, we need to have a talk. On your eval, you said you predicted this would take 10 visits. You're getting them better in 8. That's two visits of predicted revenue that we've lost. That's not good. And I'm sitting here thinking, I just got someone better. I should be rewarded for helping people get better faster, for being better at my job. Instead, not only do I not get paid more, I'm actually getting criticized. If you can relate to that, whether you watch this Team Live or Team Replay, if you've ever had anything similar happen where you felt like you don't get paid any more for being better at your job, please just comment me. I would love to know if you have ever felt that way. Because that's what I realized in my very first year out of school doing home health. I even noticed in my clinicals, I saw someone who was an amazing PT who was doing incredible work, was getting people better way faster than other people, and made no more money for being better at what he did. The only way he could have made more money is to see more people. That was it. Like, the incentive for being good was, here's another person. It wasn't, hey, here's more money. It's crazy to me. So in that case, Dana says me, Dee says me. So going back to that is, in your group, Raina, you have a group, just be open about why you do what you do, how you help people, let people connect with you as a person. And so many people are afraid to like get on their personal profile and connect with people and let people into their worlds. Let me tell you right now, if you are a solopreneur, if you are the only person in your business, you are your business. There is no distinction. You are the face of your business. You are the only thing that decides whether you get paid or not. And everything about you is what is going to draw in your ideal person. And that means talking about you. That means being vulnerable about your struggles. That means being open about your wins. That means being the kind of person that you want someone to work with. Honestly, going into business for ourselves, for myself, there's been nothing that has taught me more about myself, about my weaknesses, about my flaws, about my strengths, about my ability to be a team player. Like, nothing. The closest thing was soccer, and there wasn't that much on the line compared to what's on the line now of my time and my income and my ability to do things in life. So being open about those things will drastically improve your ability to attract the right type of people. If I'm a parent right now, what am I worried about to work with you? If I'm Raina, if you're a parent, just think right now, what is it that would worry you about doing a telehealth visit with Raina? Well, can this actually help my child? Will Raina actually care about my child? What can an OT do? Or, is Raina someone who I feel like I can trust my child's problems with, right? Those are things that we need to show them that I can confide in you. I can trust you, right? And trust comes from connection and helping people feel like they're understood. So if I'm willing to tell you that I'm not perfect, someone else who's willing to say, I'm not perfect, or I don't feel like my life is perfect, they feel connected. And the bond is actually stronger rather than I always know what to do. While that seems powerful, it's actually not the best form of connection to build trust and to build a business, to make sales. It comes from connection. So just to recap that, what Dustin says, yes, I had a discussion with a lady at the studio after I got through with my last client, openly told her I'm out of network and why. She said, yep, that's exactly why I don't ever want to go to blank PT ever again. Then she asked to schedule a consult. Boom, Dustin, I love it. Awesome work, man. Dude, if you guys are interested in learning high ticket sales, high ticket physical therapy sales, like how to actually sell packages like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. I think Dustin's like cheapest package is like $3,000. You've got to go over to High Ticket Physical Therapy Sales Facebook group. Dustin, if you want, put a link in the actual comments, because I don't remember the exact name, Physical Therapy High Ticket Sales or High Ticket Physical Therapy Sales. Feel free to drop a link in there, Dustin, for people in the comments, because you want to go over there. Selling is huge. We have to learn how to sell. So recapping for Raina, right? What I would do is make a poll, and I would start putting this out once a week, a poll. The poll doesn't have to be every time, do you want to get on a call with me? Maybe it's, so this week I'd make a poll. Hey, if I were to offer 20-minute phone calls, 25-minute phone calls with you to go over what's going on with your child, to check in and come up with a game plan for them, would you be interested, yes or no? Everyone who answers yes, I'm going to send a private message and just start a conversation. I'm not asking to get them on and like get them onto my sending them the link to the telehealth platform yet. I'm just asking, hey, thank you so much. First, compliment, be kind as a human being. Hey, thank you so much for answering yes on my poll. And that's so great that you're interested in helping, that you'd love to speak with me. I'd love to know, like, when's a good day to talk with you? Like, would it be okay? Would you prefer over the phone or over like a Zoom call, like a web conferencing meeting, right? Things that they might not know that there are options, and be like, they might say phone call would be great. That's awesome. When would be a great day or a great time to talk with you over the phone? And they might say 6 p.m. on Tuesday. I don't know. Maybe you have to have a few more questions, right? Here's the thing. If someone says that, go, great. I will follow up with you the day of our phone call. Because here's what happens. It's not a priority for people in their lives that they work with you. It's a priority for you that you have the potential to talk with them as a lead, but it's not their priority. Even though they've verbally committed, they've only verbally committed once to signing up to have a phone call with you. You have to be the aggressor to take things on and remind people once, twice. Hey, just want to remind you, we've got our call Tuesday. I'm really excited. Hey, then day of Tuesday morning, I'm super excited for a call this afternoon. Hey, here are a couple of questions I'm going to have for you. I'd love for you to answer them. And you just carry the conversation on. The longer you can carry on the conversation, the more likely they're going to commit to showing up to the phone call, which then on the phone call gives you a chance to learn about them, learn their objections, give them an opportunity to work with you at the end. Great. Is it okay if I tell you how I work with people? Like, I'm so glad we came up with a game plan. Here's what I propose though. Here's what I recommend. Is it okay if I tell you what I'd recommend? Yeah, I would love to know. Most people are going to be interested. They want to know what would be the best thing for their child. Great. Well, what I'd recommend is, I think that we should do 4 weeks of checking in. My rate is $100 an hour, at least I would hope. If not, Raina, you should be charging like 150, but if you're not, we'll get there. Like $100 an hour. And so it'd be $400 over the next month to check in once a week for an hour-long call. And we're going to make sure that we're sticking with this plan, because those who stick with the plan tend to get the best results. How does that sound? Or on a scale of 0 to 10, how good does that sound for what you're looking for? So Raina, I know you just came in. You're going to want to go back and watch this. This whole like last 25 minutes has been about kind of answering your question and laying some stuff out. So feel free to go back and watch that. So hopefully that helps. If that makes sense, if you're watching this on live or replay, just let me know if that makes sense of how to actually take someone from a Facebook group, get them to answer a poll or comment something, to then message them. You have to be the one to follow up in Messenger, continue the conversation. You do not send them a link. Continue the conversation until they verbally agree that there's a time they'd be willing to talk. Then you can schedule a link, send a link. You might have to follow up with them 2 or 3 times. Again, the biggest thing I can tell you is that you are not a priority in their lives. It's hard to take, but you are not a priority in their lives. They have to be a priority in your life. And as a priority for you, it is your responsibility to follow up with them. It is your responsibility to continue the conversation to ensure that we have the best chance that they commit to showing up to the time that we agreed to talk. I can't stress that enough. So many times online, someone will verbally commit, and this happens in real life, like on a phone call or in person. Yeah, I'll be there. Even though you think that being able to talk with you, an expert about their child, that you would be a priority for them, you are not a priority for them compared to the time with their family, their time with doing other things. Like, they don't know yet how much of a priority you should be. So it's your job to make them a priority, your job to not give them any excuses to not show up, by asking questions, by continuing the conversation, by showing them that you're more interested in them than they are in you. The very worst thing that you can do on any post, any message, is to say, feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to me. It's honestly one of the worst things that we can do. Feel free to reach out to me. It sounds good from us, right? Like, hey, feel free to reach out to me. When you say, feel free to reach out to me, you are honestly, without realizing it, what you're saying is, hey, I need you to go be more interested in me. Reach out to me to be interested in me and how I can help you, versus, hey, let me take an interest in you and learn more about you and start this conversation. I'll say again what I said earlier. Every single sale starts with a conversation structured with genuinely interested questions in the prospect without the intention of immediately collecting money. That is the best way that I know how to sell something. And I'll repeat it one more time because I think it's that important. And we do a whole deep dive training on sales in our upcoming program that we're going to announce on Thursday, exactly how we structure our sales process, how we take someone from a Facebook group to a comment, to Facebook Messenger conversation with the scripts that we have, to actually a phone call, and how you actually have the sales phone call, actually have the sales pitch on a phone call. We take you through all of that. Again, every single sale starts with a conversation structured around genuinely interested questions in the prospect without the immediate intention of collecting money, without the intention of immediately collecting money. Okay, so right now, feel free to go back and watch all this if you want to. Sarah, thanks for having us. Sarah, I'm about to answer your questions real quick. I think we got a couple more. I've got to head out in like 20 minutes. I got to go pick up my friend from the airport, actually. So we had another question. Whitney Castle, how do you make yourself stand out when there are others that do similar topics without feeling like you are copying? I'm in the dreaming phase, so I don't have any online courses, FB groups, or website. Cool. So how do you make yourself stand out when there are others that do similar topics and without feeling like you are copying? I'd love to know, if you're watching this live or on the replay, have you ever worried about this? Have you ever worried about, one, there's already people doing this; two, the market's saturated, there's no room for me to do this; three, people might think I'm copying someone else? If that's you, here's how I look at this. Number one, it's honestly in your best interest that you are not the first person to enter the market. Yes, you have the advantage of being the first mover. You also have the first primary disadvantage of having to learn every single mistake and all the costs of entering the market. There's not been a single product where people show up to the market as the first person and have to learn mistakes, overpay for things, not realize that they don't have the whole process down, or that people actually don't like certain things about their product or system, right? So one, if someone else is already doing what you're doing, it's actually one of the best signs that you can have. Why? One, it means people are already paying for whatever it is that you want to do. And if people are already paying for what it is you want to do, that means that we don't have to validate or question, like, will anyone even pay for this? Well, yeah, they will. That person over there is doing the exact same thing and people are paying them for that, right? That's why people choose to go to certain career paths, right? You don't go to become an accountant because you want to be the first accountant ever. You go to be an accountant because you know people pay for accountants. Like, if you were the only accountant, yeah, you'd make a ton of money, but like, you wouldn't be able to help everyone. And so people are already paying and there's more demand. So actually having other people doing what you're doing is a great sign. It's a wonderful sign that people are already spending money for the product or service that you would like to provide. Now, number two, the other thing is, even if you provide the exact same material, even if you were to teach the exact same material, the delivery, the vehicle, the person or the product or service is being delivered in a way that is unique because it's from you. It's from a different person. If you're just selling let's just say this, if you're just selling a bottle of water, this bottle of water, if you're just selling this bottle of water and the person over there is just selling this bottle of water, okay, we can't really differentiate anything. The only thing we can differentiate is how we talk about the bottle of water, about our personality, right? That's the only thing that can differentiate us. So in this case, what you're able to do is you are able to differentiate yourself because you're you. So in this case, like, there are other people who teach digital marketing to healthcare providers. There are other people who teach online marketing to physical therapists, right? And that's how we started. And while you could view them as competition, we just have an abundance mindset and go, well, we just are going to have a little twist to it. We're not going to be overly salesy. We're just going to provide a ton of educational value for years until people ask us for a product, which is what happened. We just put stuff out. We learned from people and they were like, hey, can you guys put this in a library so I can pay you? We're like, oh, wow, we didn't even know that was possible. So that's what we did. So actually, do not worry about copying people. Do not worry about, acknowledge. I guess the best things I can tell you is acknowledge the people who've come before you, acknowledge the other people who are doing what you're doing, give them credit, give them praise if they've helped you in any way, or if you learn things from them, give them praise. And the best thing to do is don't go after their exact same people, right? Even if you were to say, like, let's say that you worked with postpartum moms, right? You do realize there's a huge subset. There are millions, I should say thousands of subsets within even postpartum moms. There are postpartum moms under 20. There are postpartum moms 20 to 25. There are postpartum moms 26 to 30. Postpartum moms 30 to 35. There are postpartum moms who are now in their 70s. Right? I know the time frame is different, right? But who've gone through that phase, who now have new problems. There are postpartum moms who play tennis. There are postpartum moms who do yoga. There are postpartum moms who like certain TV shows. Like, there are thousands of subsets, and you just want to niche down further and further to differentiate yourself, right? So the one person who talks about just postpartum recovery for any mom cannot message as strongly as you can to a postpartum mom who plays tennis if your messaging is about, I help postpartum moms who play tennis. You will almost always win because your message is much clearer and more specific, and that person can feel more understood than the person who just speaks to generally to postpartum moms. So never be afraid of other people in the market. It's actually a great sign. It means that people are already paying for the thing that you want to do, which is great. We don't have to wonder, will people even pay for this, right? So Reina, who's doing OT telehealth, all we have to do is ask, are there people who are doing telehealth for pediatrics out there? If there are, awesome. Someone's proven that people are willing to pay for this. That's great. I don't have to be the first one to prove that someone will pay for this, because that's a lot of gambling. Like, will someone even pay for this? That's how to approach that. Hopefully that answers your question, Whitney. Let me know if not. Let's see. Sarah says, how to manage time building online with a full-time job and family. She says, where to start with finances, when to hire that out, how to price your offer. Cool. So let's talk about some stuff. First off, the very first thing that I would say is, when it comes to managing time and family, I will be honest, I am not the best one. I am single right now. I don't have kids. So I'm able to dedicate a lot of time to what I'm doing. What I would say is I would reach out to someone who is dealing with that. So maybe Alex. Like, Alex has 2 young daughters that are under 6. Both are under 6. He has a wife, right? He has a lot going on. He would be someone who would be an amazing resource to ask. Someone like Jeremy Sutton. If you want to reach out to Jeremy Sutton, Jeremy Sutton is working on growing his healthcare self-publishing academy, which is online, helping healthcare providers launch their very first books, publish their first books. He has, I believe, 2 kids. Oh, it's terrible. I can't remember. I believe he has 2 kids. He's married, has a lot of stuff going on. So those would be great people to reach out to when it comes to time management and family. I just won't even pretend that I know that situation. Like, it's just not my wheelhouse at this point. Maybe ask me in 5 years, I might have a good answer. But for now, reach out to someone who's dealing with that specific issue. So I would say Alex, Jeremy Sutton, Kelly Duggan. She's an incredible PT. Katie Homan, who runs Hino, would be a great resource to reach out to. Tony Meritato would be awesome if Tony's still on here. Tony Meritato would be amazing. That guy, he's balancing like 900 projects. He's amazing, and he runs clinics. He'd be an awesome guy to reach out to. As for number 2, Sarah, your question was, Where to start with finances, when to hire that out. Okay, so here's the big thing. And she says, referring to online. I would never hire out until you can prove and validate your offer by yourself. What I mean by that is, do you have an actual process that leads to sales? If you do not have a process that leads to sales, we should not hire out to anyone because we can't train someone on our process. Now, if you know that you absolutely have no chance or you're just not very good at certain parts of the process, okay, maybe it would be worth hiring out. I'll tell you what, the only thing that I would hire out in the beginning, it'd be sales if I was awful at sales. That would be the only thing that I would hire out. And even then, like, that's going to take a lot of educating and training someone on really understanding what it is we're selling. And for most of us as PTs, we're not really good at even communicating that. So I don't even know that hiring out a salesperson to begin with would make a lot of sense, right? In the beginning, it's got to be you learning how to market and learning how to sell. So that way you can train someone on how to market and how to sell. Unless you're selling some product or service that's been proven over and over again and there are actual salespeople in those roles who could step right in. Honestly, if they could do this, even if they do that, they're probably going to cost you a lot of money to do that. Things that I would not hire out for. Contrary to what people tell you, I would not hire out any social media. I would not hire out any video editing. I would not hire out any landing page stuff, websites. The reality is you don't need any of that. All you need to do is friend request people in your local or niche audience online. You need to post on your personal profile with your phone, no graphics. You can go look at my personal profile as an example, other than the promotion for our webinar. Everything is just pictures of me or live videos talking about stories or communicating in ways that connect with people. It's what's built Alex and I's business to what it is today. We don't even have a functioning website. We have landing pages that yes, we put together ourselves. None of them would win any kind of award. None of them would win any kind of award. I wouldn't even do it. We don't even have a functioning website. We have the money. We have plenty of resources to do it. It just doesn't move our business forward. Like, no one finds us through SEO. No one finds us through Google. They find us through this Facebook group. This is literally our website. Alex and I were joking about this earlier. Our website is literally facebook.com/group/healthcare digital marketing. Facebook.com/group/healthcare digital marketing. My personal website, I have a personal website, but honestly, my personal website, if I had to send you anywhere, would be facebook.com/willboydpt. Like, that's my personal profile, not even my business page, right? If people are finding you through SEO, Google, then maybe it makes sense to revamp your website and pay someone for your website. If they're not, I don't even think it makes sense to like build a website. Where are people finding you, right? If you want to have a website, here's what I would say. If you want to have a website, because Dana, you just asked this, so it could go through this website versus just Facebook business page. I would definitely have a Facebook business page. You're not going to use it very much. You're not even going to post on it very often because it gets zero reach. Like, for example, if you have 1,000 people that like your business page, 1,000 people that like your business page, only maybe 20 to 30 of them will actually see your post. Gone are the days of 5 years ago when you could have 1,000 people like your page and 500 of them would see your post. And we can either be mad about it and sad about it that we missed out. Like, Facebook gave us the opportunity to just market for free for like years, and we missed out. We missed the boat. If we came in late, we missed the boat. So now what you do is you use your personal profile. You start friend requesting people in your local area, your niche audience, because that's the equivalent of your business page now. And you turn your personal profile into your page. You're not going to make it all about your business. You're making it about you and your life, but you're going to talk about your business and what you do and how you help people. That's just the game. You don't have to play the game that way, but if you want to actually win in today's world without spending a ton of money, this is how you win the game. This is how you get in front of the right people. Marketing and sales comes down to how do you get in front of the right people with the right message at the right time with the right offer. That's it. Chris, can you ask your question again? Because it scrolled down so quick that I can't see it anymore. If you get a chance, Chris, I feel so bad. You asked a question. I'm going to get it. So number one, you should not be hiring for the most part. The thing you want to do is don't make things perfect. Literally, perfect is subjective. No one knows what perfect looks like. Do not spend time thinking of crazy posts. Literally say what you're thinking in the moment, make it relevant to your audience, which means, are you actually getting people into your Facebook group, to your Instagram page, to your Facebook page or Facebook profile, or wherever else? Are you actually getting in front of the right people? If you're a local brick and mortar practice, are you showing up physically where your actual ideal patients are, your ideal prospects are? Like there's no substitute for this. Like there's no way around this. You have to get in front of the right people. You have to talk to them in their language, and we have to create offers for them. Like if a 5-year-old asked me, how do you build a business? I would say, you got to find the people who you want to serve. You got to get in front of them and get to know them. You have to communicate with them in their language, and you have to present an offer that solves a problem for them. Now, in our world, in healthcare, we have relied on hospitals being the place where people had problems, and we never had to talk to anyone about where they are. Oh, they're in the hospital. Okay, cool. 2, I don't have to communicate with them because the doctor already told me I have permission to go in there and talk with them. So we're having to learn this all over, or learning for the first time, because we have control over this now. We get to do it. So that's the thing about hiring out. I would not, honestly, until you're making money, I would not hire out. Until you're making like probably $2,000 to $3,000 a month from your online sources, I would not hire out. If you really need a website and you don't want to do it at all, I would hire out the cheapest person on Fiverr I could find to build me a website. If you really want to do it, what I would do is, and you want to spend 3 hours, I have a tutorial on my website, willboydpt.com, that walks you through how to make a Weebly website for your clinic for free. It's just on there. You can go on my website, willboydpt.com, that talks about a website, how to make a Weebly website, and it walks you through how to make a website for your clinic for free. All you have to do is pay for a domain name, like $20, and you can attach it to a free Weebly site. Now you've got a website for your clinic. All right. Then Sarah, I got to get running here in a sec. Sarah said, one other question. How do you price your offer? Cool. Great question. Sarah, we're going to, so in our program that we're announcing on Thursday, we dive deep into how to actually structure offers and how to price them. But here's the rule of thumb. How big is the problem that you're solving? How badly do people want it? For example, if you look at, here's a really interesting thing. Teeth prevention, toothpaste, you would think really important. People don't value it and don't want it that bad. So they only spend, I don't know, guys, what, $10 a month on a toothpaste and a toothbrush? That's all they pay, right? Maybe some floss. Tooth emergency issues, they'll pay a lot of money for. Like they want it really bad. They'll pay a lot of money for it, right? Ray with a funny comment. Chris. Okay. Cool. So let's go through how bad do they want it and how big is the problem that you're solving? So teeth health, like preventing tooth decay with toothpaste, toothbrush. People don't really want it that bad. Right? It solves a huge problem, but people don't want to invest in it, right? Just like prevention for physical therapy. Does it solve a huge problem? Yeah. Do people want it? No, it's not emergent. There's no urgency to it. People don't really they don't want to spend a ton of money on it. Are there some that will? Sure. Do most people want it? No. That's why most people still choose their insurance if they can, because it's not urgent, right? Or they only go to PT when it's urgent. They don't value prevention, right? People want to lose weight. They want to look better. Is it a big problem? Yeah. Solves confidence. Solves self-esteem, solves physical health, right? People want that. Great. Honestly, if I were a PT, I'd be selling weight loss and fitness programs all day because I know those people are going to have injuries as they go through this. People want it, and it solves a big problem for them. People don't want injury prevention, even though it solves a big problem, but they don't want it. So I wouldn't focus my energy on selling that, right? You can price high for things that people want and solves a really big problem, and they want it badly. So things like, there's a reason why some personal trainers make a lot of money compared to physical therapists, because they're selling something that people want and it solves a big problem. Is that personal trainers' fault? No, it's our fault. We don't know how to communicate what it is that we're doing and how we're helping people. And we're not selling people what they want. Our ego gets in the way and say, well, I can't sell fitness. I can't sell personal training. You can believe me, if I went back to physical therapy and I started seeing people again, I opened my own private practice, fitness would be at the forefront of what I teach. Weight loss would be at the forefront of my practice. It would be so much about fitness, so much about weight loss. It would be about pain reduction, things that people want. And then I would sell them on the back end about physical therapy. And I would sell them on the back end about plans of care, physical therapy, or I'm blanking on what I was going to say. But anyways, that would be what I would do. Chris, I feel so bad. Can you please repost your question one more time? I feel terrible. I saw it for a second and then it slid down one more time. Okay, so pricing your offer depends on how bad someone wants something and how big of a problem it solves, right? If you are selling something and how essentially the access to it too. So it's a complicated question. It's something that's hard to just say for one thing, but I would say if it solves a big problem and it solves something that people want, and if it has a major financial impact on their lives as well, then you can look at selling $1,000 plus, right? If it doesn't, it's really hard to convince someone to buy something for more than a couple $100 if it doesn't really solve something that they want. Even if it's a big problem, if they don't want it, it's really hard to sell someone something that they don't want. When's the last time you bought something that you didn't want? I don't mean like you had to buy it like a surgery or something, but when's the last time you bought something you didn't want? I would love to know. Like, people don't want to buy things they don't want. You want what you want. Cool. So Chris, if you ask your question again, I feel awful, man, that I can't see it. It slipped down way too far for me, too fast. Let me see if I can pull it up here. I can't. I got to run here in just a second. Chris, what I'll do is if it doesn't pop up in the next 10, 15 seconds, please feel free to just send it to me in a message, man, on Voxer or Facebook, and I will, or if you might have my number, Chris, you could just text me if you do, and I'll respond to you. I got to go run and pick up my friend from the airport. If this was helpful, whether you're watching this live or on the replay, just comment helpful if you found it helpful. If you didn't, just be like, don't ever do this again, Will. You can comment, don't ever do this again, Will, and I won't ever do this again. So if you found it helpful, let me know. Just comment helpful. Lets me know that maybe I should do more of these. If not, just say, don't ever do this again, Will. Thanks, Dana. Dana says, awesome. Feel free to go back and watch this one. I highly recommend that you show up Thursday for our live training. If you found this helpful, imagine like times 50 or 100 how much more in depth we're going to go over stuff on Thursday night for our live training, which is healthyfunnel.com/launch. You can go to healthyfunnel.com/launch. I know you're thinking, Will, you said you don't have a website. Literally, you can try to go to healthyfunnel.com and you probably won't even go somewhere. Probably doesn't lead you anywhere. So, Sarah, been in PT and weight loss and fitness for 7 years, just giving too much away. Man, it's a huge industry. Honestly, if I started my own practice, fitness and wellness, like weight loss would be at the front of what I do because people want it. It solves a big problem. Physical therapy, people don't want it. Do you realize, like, if someone wanted physical therapy, that means that they would want to be injured on the way that we sell it? Like, that's literally saying, I hope I wake up and I'm injured so that way I can want physical therapy. Think about that. In order for someone to want physical therapy in the current way that we talk to people about it, in the current way we sell it, that means that they would want to wake up hurt or injured. Why would you ever want that? You don't. Like, you don't want that. Like, you don't want that. Okay. Thank you, Michael, for saying it was full of help. Amy, thank you so much. Please again, Dustin, can't sell to someone if they don't want it first. Best way to know is to ask them. One of the best is literally ask someone what they want and then sell them that. Oh man, cool. I got to go pick up my friend. He just landed. I love you guys. I hope to see you Thursday night at 8:30. Go to healthyfunnel.com/launch. It's going to be even 100 times better than what just happened tonight. I will catch you guys later. Have a great evening. Be safe if you're out there, and we'll talk soon.